Jim, Mark, good to see both of you here in Shanghai.
Great to see you, Wei. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I should say welcome back.
Yes.
Jim, your takeaway of the latest development between China and the United States, especially after the top leader talked.
I'm very excited after the top leader talk. I think we've been through a difficult time. I think, we changed administrations in the U.S. We had a tariff situation trying to drive a change in the relationship. And we've been through lots of kind of back and forth. But what I think is
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. But what I think is so good is we've come through that back and forth.
We hope.
We hope. The two leaders have come together. Their teams have worked hard in many different meetings, I think 5 at least, probably many more virtual meetings, but 5 in-person meetings, most recent in Malaysia. And then the presidents came together and said, we agree with this. And so I think that puts us back on track. And I'm very optimistic.
All right. Mark, what about for you?
As a farmer, I like to see any time where we see movement in the right direction. It's a start. We've got a lot of issues. They've got a lot of issues they're discussing, and we want to see them continue to talk. Because anytime you talk, things happen. Yeah. It's when you stop talking is things go south. So we want them to continue to talk and work through the issues that are the issue.
The Chinese Vice Minister of Commerce, Mr. Chenggang, recently met with the delegation from the U.S. Agriculture sector, including both of you, gentlemen.
Yes, we were both there.
He talked about create a sound ambience for cooperation between the two countries, especially about agriculture. Now, how is that sound ambience to be created, that atmosphere to be created?
I'll give you one example. Bringing a delegation, including 12 different commodity organizations representing a wide diversity of commodities, coming here to China to meet with our long-term customers and potential new customers, to explain to them how important this relationship is to our U.S. producers that we represent, to be able to demonstrate the relationship we have. And keep in mind, when these 12 different groups decided to come here and committed to come here, the president's meeting hadn't happened. Mm-hmm. So now what's turned into a bit of a celebratory moment, or a good moment, the positive ambience, we didn't know when we planned if we'd be in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's important to manage this long-term relationship, or to maintain this long-term relationship. So I think that's how we maintain this ambiance, and we make it even better. And I think it's through, as Mark said, it's through talking.
Right.
Because as there's dialogue, there can be maintenance of this good relationship.
When ups and downs was pretty much at the very down level, what was it like for you to sign up for this opportunity to come to China, talk to your partners? And what was it like for you to discuss among yourselves to make sure this trip will be worthwhile, not only here, but also back at home?
Mm. Well, for one thing, China has been a great trading partner in the past, and has been very important to agriculture and my farm. There's a lot of, just back in 2021, China was 30% of our corn exports. So that was vital to my farm. And so anything we can do to continue those relationships, like Jim said, be here, show up, and show that we still care. And it doesn't matter whether, the trade deal or they had talked or not. I was coming anyway because I wanted to maintain that relationship and make sure that you guys knew how important you guys are to us. Didn't matter whether you're doing anything right now. We still want to build those relationships and let you know that we care and we want to be here.
It's important to come here and tell your Chinese partners. It's also important to do that work back at home, to tell those stakeholders that agriculture matters to the U.S. economy and the U.S. future. How are you doing that? What are some major obstacles? How do you try to overcome those major obstacles? After all, the ambience about China-U.S. relations in the United States is not ideal, to say the least.
I think you got to start with what we have in common. Talk about people and people. We all want our families to have a better life. And you see that anytime you travel, you talk to people, that's important to them. Go home, tell the farmers, tell everybody else, China, they have the same goals as we do. They want the same thing for their family. We need to work with that and make sure that they know that it's not an evil, neither one of our places are evil. We're not trying to hurt each other. We just want to make a place that we can live and have a happy life, and we do work on that.
But it's not easy sometimes when you explain that.
No, it's definitely not. There's so much on social media. You gotta block a lot of that out. So much of that is just to get us fired up, get us excited, and so much is not true. And trying to decipher what's true and not true. All I know is I've come here, I've met, this is the second time over here, I've met with a lot of people here, and they're all friendly, they all like us, and I had a great relationship with people, and I think more people should do it, come over.
What about for you?
I think a couple things. I think one of the great things of bringing people here, and I had 3 U.S. soy farmers join this mission, and for 2 of the 3, it's the first time ever to be here in China. And I think it's so important for them to see firsthand, as Mark said, to meet the people, to talk about the things we have in common, and also to see the potential for future growth here in China. Because the sort of common talking point or viewpoint is that, well, the population in China is leveled off and, just be sort of going downhill. I think nothing could be further from the truth. I think that China has a great future still for growth and still for enhanced economic activity here. I think it's really
More than
picking
5%.
up. Yeah.
GDP growth.
Look
Oh
at
my
that.
God.
It's fantastic. And I think that spells a great future for U.S. soy and other U.S. agricultural products, because China is going to continue to grow their demand, and we want to be there to supply it. So that's a message we need to take back to people. The other thing I think we need to do is demonstrate this opportunity for collaboration. And sure, there are going to be high-level geopolitical issues between the 2 biggest and most powerful countries in the world. I think it's inevitable. But if some parts of that relationship are running along very well, that gives people confidence that, oh, it's not a bad relationship, that's just a difficult issue, the relationship's working. And I think agriculture trade and trade in general can be that example.
You know very well the power of lobbying of different sectors, including, of course, of agriculture sector. But some of those sectors might argue China is our competitor. And why should we be friendly to them? And they are going to compete with us ultimately. So why do we sacrifice, as they say, our bigger benefits and future for so-called smaller results, meaning agriculture? How would you talk to these guys? I mean, you see a lot of these rhetorics in the media, in the hearings. So, Jim.
Sure, there may be some things we compete on, but I think there are many more things that we can be partners on. And I think when you have a big country like the United States, and with many other big countries in the world, we always have this competitive issue on a few things. So we need to focus on the win-win type of partnership that we can build on. And that's what we need to educate people on. And that's where I think it also comes down to getting those people that don't understand, getting them to come here and see and talk to people firsthand.
But it's not only you. You have to make your government realize that. The stakeholders in the U.S., that they have to realize that.
Yeah. I think we have seen a lot of U.S. delegations coming to China.
Indeed.
We've seen congressional delegations coming. We've seen business leaders coming. And so I know these things are going on kind of in the background, but there's an awful lot of people-to-people connection with government people too happening. Unfortunately, right now we have the U.S. government in this very odd situation when they shut down, so they're really not able to engage the way we would like for them to be. I know that if we hadn't had that governmental problem, we would have had a USDA people participating today, participating at the CIIE as they did last year. It's just unfortunate, but I believe that there is a desire to really build on the president's discussion. So I think we have to take some of that and say, that's just noise. Let's see what happens in the next months. The next coming months are very important.
There's another issue, when we come to business, prices are important.
Yes.
So how to make sure your products are going to be competitive in quality, of course, not to mention that, of course, but also in prices.
Soybeans are a very competitive commodity. There are several different origins for soybeans in the world market, and it's generally a free and open trade. And no country would be able to ship their products onto the world market if they weren't competitive. Now, on the day, prices fluctuate, and seasonally, it tends to be that North America is the most competitive at this time of year. South America is the most competitive kind of march forward. But I think that people can rest assured that as we export our products to the world, we have to be reasonably price competitive. Now, we always say that you mentioned quality. We always say that U.S. quality is superior, and we've got a lot of data to back that up. We also believe we have the most sustainable product. And some people will pay a small premium for that. We would love it if everybody paid a premium. But at the end of the day, we have to be, our industry, our farmers have to be competitive in order to be able to sell their products. So I think Chinese buyers can assure that if they're buying products, they're going to be competitively priced.
We hope so, because earlier your counterparts, the Chinese president of the chamber, in terms of livestock and soybeans and others, have been talking about, it seems that the prices of U.S. soybeans has been going up right before the presidential meet. So a lot of people are watching these prices very closely.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, kind of the benchmark for prices in the world. If you look at that, yes, there has been a little move up in prices. But if you look at a 5-year price chart, we're still on the very much the lower end of that range. So, it's probably not surprising we rallied off such a low level. But I think prices will have to be competitive.
Mark, what about for you?
Well, first of all, we can't set any prices. All I know is that farmers are going to continue to plant, and they're going to continue to increase yields. And that's the best way we can remain competitive, is we keep raising more and more every year. And by raising more, the supply is big, and that's the only way we can stay competitive.
That's right.
By the way, it is your organization that has been already establishing offices in China for 40 years?
Both of them.
Both of yours?
Yeah, both.
Yes,
I think both organizations started in 1982, around the same time.
Back then, we knew this was going to be important, and so we decided we need to get there. We need to have an office there, and we need to continue that even when things are tough. We need to still be here.
Now, in retrospect, how do you look at these past 40 years? And looking forward, what is the most fundamental things that you need to hold on to in order to make things happen? Mark?
Well, it's been a bumpy ride. It's been up and down throughout time. Things do well, things go tough, things go better. We hope it continues to get better. We have to keep in mind the people. We're dealing with people like us. We need to just focus in on families, focus in on that part, and realize that the other stuff will take care of itself.
And I would say, I think the growth in demand, the growth in import demand in China has exceeded any expectation that we could have had. Because China has become the world's biggest producer of pork, of aquaculture, of eggs, and a huge importer, biggest importer in the world. I don't think 42 years ago, when the people that were deciding to start here, when they had that idea, I don't think they expected that kind of growth. But I also think we've really built strong relationships. So I think the key for going forward is to maintain those relationships and to be able to try and focus on working together, sharing innovative ideas, sharing solutions to problems, and trying to keep away from all the high-level geopolitical issues to best we can. I know sometimes we get caught up in those, but it's best when we can focus on what we know on the soy trade, working with the customers of soy, working with experts that we can help bring in, and just keeping our farmers involved as well.
And just remember, we need each other.
Yeah, mutually beneficial.
Yes.
That's what we're talking
Win-win.
about.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Mark and Jim. Always good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Wei, thank you for the opportunity.
I hope you're going to come back soon, because that means good news for U.S. and China as well.
Hope
Thank
so.
you.
Look forward to
Thank you so
that.
much.